Let me tell you about a moment I still can't explain. A few years ago, I was walking through a city I'd never been to. Nothing special. Just a normal street. And then, out of nowhere, I smelled something. It was faint. Almost gone before I noticed it. But it stopped me completely. It was the smell of old wood. Not fresh lumber. Not furniture polished. Just old wood. Like an old desk or a library shelf. And in that instant, I wasn't in that city anymore. I was 8 years old. I was standing in my elementary school library. I could see the dusty light coming through the blinds. I could hear the creak of the floorboards. I could feel the rough surface of the card catalog drawer. I stood there for maybe 10 seconds. Completely frozen. Then the smell faded. And I was back. A grown adult, standing on a random sidewalk, fighting back tears for no reason I could explain. That's the power of a smell. It doesn't just remind you of something. It takes you there. You felt this too. I know you have. Maybe it's the smell of rain on hot concrete. And suddenly you're a kid again, running inside before the storm hits. Maybe it's the smell of bread baking. And you're standing in your grandmother's kitchen, watching her pull a loaf out of the oven. Maybe it's a perfume that someone you love used to wear. And for a split second, your heart forgets they're gone. We've all been ambushed by a smell. And every time it happens, we're left with the same question: why? Why does a smell hit so much harder than a photo or a song? Why does it feel so real? Why does it make me feel things I thought I buried? I looked into this. And what I found is one of the most beautiful things I've ever learned about the human brain. Here's the first thing you need to know. Your senses, sight, sound, touch, taste, they all go through a kind of waiting room in your brain, a filter called the thalamus. This filter processes the information, figures out where it needs to go, and then sends it along. It's efficient. It's organized. It's like a mailroom. But smell? Smell doesn't use the mailroom. It takes a secret tunnel. When you smell something, the signal goes straight to your amygdala. That's your brain's emotion center. And straight to your hippocampus. That's your memory center. No filter. No waiting. No processing delay. It's the only one of your 5 senses that gets this express pass. That's why a smell can make you feel something before you even know what you're feeling. That's why tears can come before you've named the memory. Your other senses show you the past. Smell drops you into it. Now here's the second piece. Why childhood smells hit hardest. When you were a child, your brain was building the map of your world. Everything was new. Everything was important. The smell of your mother's cooking, your father's cologne, your school's hallway, your best friend's living room, all of these smells were being stamped into your memory with incredible intensity. As an adult, you experience new smells all the time, but they don't stick the same way. Your brain already has its map. It's not building new roads. It's just maintaining old ones. That's why the smell of cinnamon might make you cry. Not because cinnamon is special, but because cinnamon was there when you were small, and your brain has never forgotten. There's a famous name for this. It's called the Proust Effect, after the French writer Marcel Proust. He wrote about eating a Madeleine cookie, a small, shell-shaped cake, and suddenly being flooded with memories of his childhood. He described it as feeling like a whole world had opened up inside him. For a long time, people thought this was just poetic. Now we know it's neuroscience. A single smell can unlock a cascade of memories, emotions, and even physical sensations. Your brain doesn't just remember the smell. It remembers everything that was happening when you first smelled it. Let me give you a personal example. When I was a kid, my grandmother had a particular hand lotion. I don't know the brand. I don't know the scent. But I'd know it if I smelled it. That lotion was on her hands every time she hugged me. Every time she made me a sandwich. Every time she tucked me into the guest bed. She's been gone for years. But a few months ago, a woman walked past me in a grocery store, and I caught a whiff of that lotion. I swear, for 1 second, I thought my grandmother was there. My heart actually lurched. It wasn't her, it was just a stranger with similar taste in lotion, but my brain didn't care. The signal went straight from my nose to my memory, and the memory said, "She's here." That's not weakness. That's how your brain is wired. Now here's something interesting. Why is it so hard to describe a smell? Think about it. You can describe a color, blue like the ocean, green like grass. You can describe a sound, deep like a bass drum, high like a bird. But a smell? You can say like cinnamon or like rain. But eventually you run out of words. You end up saying it smells like, and then naming another thing that smells like it. That's because the language centers of your brain are not directly connected to your smell center. You feel a smell before you can name it. Sometimes you can't name it at all, but you can feel it. That's why a smell can make you nostalgic, sad, happy, or homesick without you understanding why. Your brain doesn't need the name. It just needs the feeling. And here's the evolutionary reason for all of this. Your ancient ancestors relied on smell for survival. A good smell might mean ripe fruit. A bad smell might mean spoiled food or a predator nearby. Your brain needed to remember smells instantly and react emotionally. Danger wasn't something you had time to think about, so evolution built a shortcut. Smell gives emotion, gives memory, gives action. No delays. That shortcut is still inside you. It's the reason a whiff of smoke makes your heart race before you've even seen a flame. It's the reason a pleasant smell can lift your mood for no reason. And it's the reason a childhood smell can bring you to tears in the middle of a normal day. So what do you do with this information? First, don't fight the feelings. When a smell ambushes you, let it. Don't push it away because you feel silly. Your brain is giving you a gift. A door to your past. Walk through it for a moment. Second, pay attention to the smells you're creating now. The scent of your home, your cooking, your perfume. You're creating memories for someone else. A child, a friend, a partner. Years from now, they might be stopped in their tracks by a smell, and you'll be the one who put it there. Third, if there's a smell you miss, your grandmother's kitchen, your childhood home, you can sometimes find it again. Search for it. Ask people. Look online. There are companies that recreate vintage perfumes. There are forums where people describe smells from the 1970s. You'd be surprised what's out there. And finally, be grateful. Your sense of smell is a time machine. It's a backstage pass to your own history. It's proof that you were there. That you lived. That you loved. So the next time you're walking down the street and a smell stops you cold, don't apologize. Don't rush past it. Close your eyes. Breathe it in. Let it take you where it wants to go. That smell is not just a smell. It's a door. And you have the key. That's the weird thing I learned today. Hey, if you've ever been ambushed by a smell that took you back, you're not alone. And if you want more weird explanations for everyday brain glitches, hit subscribe. I read the papers so you don't have to. No self-help nonsense. Just curiosity and a little bit of nostalgia. Thanks for smelling with me. Now go find a scent that makes you happy. See you next time.